Welcome to Help with Natalie Cuomo, the podcast about a girl who just can't help herself.
Welcome to Help with Natalie Cuomo. I am so excited. Here with me today, we have 2/3 of the Loud Boys. I am here with Dalton Pruitt and Joe Gorman. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Hi, Natalie.
Thank
Hello.
you.
How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm glad we did some vocal warm-ups before we started.
Yes. You want to? We were doing red leather, yellow leather.
Yes.
Unique New York.
Yes.
I tried to Tuvan throat sing.
Yes.
I can't do it.
Yeah. And I just did some diaphragm stretches, so I'm good.
What is a diaphragm stretch?
That's just where you go like, and you like kind of puff your chest up like Bruce Lee.
Oh, yeah.
You ever practice your breathing?
I do practice my breathing, but it's more for mental reasons.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I used to do Kundalini Yoga, which is a meditative form of yoga. There's a place right here on Stanton Street called Rama, and I used to go there, and it's like an hour and a half of just like holding a pose for 15 minutes at a time, and then you just meditate. It was very hard, but I would walk out of there glowing.
Did you wear the white outfit?
No, I never did. I could barely do it. My muscles are very tight.
Now, I didn't think Kundalini Yoga was the one pose. I thought it was saying the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Well, it's yoga combined with meditation and chanting. So you hold the pose, whatever the pose is, and then you go Om.
Do you know any of the chants?
I can't remember. There were like a few that we would recite, and it was fun, man. We would be in there. It was me, all the ladies with big lip injections and fake tits, and we were just all going oh.
Nice.
And then she would play a gong at the end. We'd lay on our backs, and she'd hit a gong for like 20 minutes, and I would drift away.
It's nice. It's it's empowering. It's relaxing. I like yoga.
I don't believe in that shit. I believe in America, so I don't do that. I just take medication.
I do both. I take medication and I lie about going to yoga.
What medication do you take?
I take Zoloft and Wellbutrin. How are you today?
I take Lexapro.
Nice.
And I was on Seroquel as well, but that is a wild drug.
Let's talk about it.
Well, Lexapro is just an SSRI, so I take 20 milligrams of that.
I used to take that.
Yeah, and then Seroquel is an antipsychotic that I was prescribed for insomnia at a low dose. But it's powerful because they prescribe it to people who hear voices, and they just give them like 800 milligrams, and they're like, this should quiet you down. But it's just a heavy sedative. It's crazy. So now I just take Lexapro, and if I get really anxious, I'll pop a beta blocker like I'm in the 70s.
What's a beta blocker?
It's an old school drug. It's a blood pressure medication. It lowers your heart rate. And
what's the name of it?
A beta blocker is the reason Robbie's not on the podcast today. All right, that's what's going on.
And Joe is here.
What's up? Nice. Yeah.
What is up? Good morning.
Joe.
Yeah. Hey, humor is the best medication. All right, folks, we're just having a good time.
I was briefly on an antipsychotic, and it wasn't because I'm psychotic. No. It was because of anxiety, but I felt like there was nothing getting rid of my anxiety, and it made me feel like I want to rip my skin off. It was called Abilify, and I felt like it made me gain like a ton of weight, and it made me feel like I was going to rip my skin off.
Well, did you know they don't really know like how these medications work? Like I studied this in college briefly. I was a biochemistry major, and we studied. We talked about antidepressants, and they were like, we can see the reaction mechanisms in the brain. Like you take this pill and it does this, and this, but we don't know like why that's happening. We just made something.
It's an experiment.
Yeah. And so it's more of an art than a science. Like you talk to some fucking bitch on Zoom, and she's like, "How do you feel?" And you go, "Sad." And she goes, "All right, well, I'm gonna give you Wellbutrin, Lamictal, Latuda. Talk to me in 2 weeks. If you haven't killed yourself, we'll figure it out from there."
I've tried Luvox, Prozac, Zoloft, Topamax, Abilify, Wellbutrin, Adderall, Vyvanse. They've all been prescribed to me. Like I've tried literally every fucking medication legally, and I'm still suicidal.
Oh no!
Whoa! Well, then start the show, Natalie. Help!
You're the one.
Help!
Yeah, that sucks, man. What a bummer. I don't know. I'm a middle class white man in America. It's all chill. I go to a therapist.
Yeah.
I see a therapist on the Cerebral app that I found on TikTok.
Cerebral?
Yeah.
What is the Cerebral app?
I'm addicted to TikTok, and because of the nature of TikTok, there's a lot of ads for apps to help with mental health in this time.
My
For those
TikTok, I'm
Gen
addicted to
Z.
TikTok. I've never once gotten an app, mental health ad, whatever.
My algorithm is crazy. I get a lot of guys who think they're Jesus Christ and ads for ADHD medication. So I don't know what I've been doing.
It's all about like what you've been searching. It's not just like what you're looking at on TikTok. It's what you search on the web, because that's how Google makes all of their profit, is selling that information to advertisers so they can make more targeted ads for you and on your phones and devices and stuff like that. So it's not like coincidence. Like I look up stuff too, and it's like, oh, how to fucking murder people, and like, so you fucking did this and that. Like it's all targeted ads.
I'm feeling really relieved about my ads right now because they're really chill and they're really surface level, and I'm feeling really good about my ads.
You got to understand that what you're working with is an algorithm.
Yeah.
So it's an artificial intelligence that we don't understand. And
Becoming self-aware.
It's becoming self-aware because of us, because we feed into it. We provided it with our own consciousness.
Yeah.
And so now this thing is trying to guess what we like.
Yeah.
Apparently what I like is guys who think they're the Messiah and ADHD medication.
Yeah.
Can I be honest? I'm really enjoying my talk with you guys so far, and I want this podcast episode to be my proposal to replace Robbie in the Loud Voice.
Congratulations, Natalie.
Can you do impressions?
Yes.
Do Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson?
Yeah.
In which movie?
Just anything.
You already fucked it up.
Yeah.
You've already fucked it up because
You
didn't immediately do this.
That's all
you got it. You got to get in position. You got to hold.
All right.
You got to pull your
Why
hair
would
back.
you give me Jack Nicholson?
You got one more.
I wanted to see if you would do this.
You got one more chance. Christian Slater.
No.
You could have done this. You could have done the same thing.
To be honest, I lied. I can't do impressions. I'm better at other things like having sex. Give me something else.
You literally could have just put your hand here. And
Having sex, you're out of the Loud
Boys.
Boys. That's the one. That's the Loud Boys code.
Natalie, you're good at having sex. You are not going to get along with us.
Yeah.
All right, let's try this again. So I'm loving our dynamic, just the three of us.
Yeah.
And I'd like this episode to be a proposal for me to replace Robbie.
Okay.
You're in.
Well, what did you have in mind to pitch that to us?
So what does Robbie do other than the impressions?
He's a sweetheart. He's funny.
Mm-hmm.
He's a. Is this a serious question?
He has fun up there.
He has fun up there.
He has fun up there. He's cute.
He's cute. He's very
cute.
attractive.
He's very cute.
His only issue is he just used to be overweight.
And I did too when I was on a bill. If I gained about 15 pounds, you can ask the trolls.
15?
No, Natalie, I'm not talking about being not anorexic. I'm talking about...
I am anorexic, Dalton. How did you know?
I'm not talking about being a healthy weight. I'm talking about being my size. And it,
You're not. I literally was looking at you today. I was like, Dalton's a great size.
I mean, thank you, by the way. I mean, my size when I was in high school.
There's the rub.
In college.
There's the rub.
In college,
you were overweight in high school?
Dude, I was corn-fed. I've been corn-fed my whole life.
We're all corn-fed, baby.
Yeah.
It's America.
It's America. There's corn in everything.
There's corn in my coffee.
High fructose corn syrup? It's in everything.
Literally everything. My phone has corn
There's
in it.
corn bread. Wrap your head around that. They've combined corn with wheat.
Guys. Yikes. Usually...
Actually, no, the cornbread is made from cornmeal, so...
I'm so neurotic. I'm still thinking about the fact that I said I was suicidal on a podcast. I'm not suicidal. I'm just depressed.
Have you listened
Don't worry. If you were, I'd have to report you because that's part of my day job is working with at-risk youth.
Natalie,
so I would have reported you if I knew you were at risk. But a lot of these kids, they just say it for Mr. G, I'm going to fucking cut my wrist. I'm like, then do it, Jamal. Do it. And he won't. And it's now let's talk.
Dude, this is such a great time for me to tell you about... Wait, what do you do?
What?
What do you do?
Don't worry about
Comedy.
my day job.
Natalie, I clearly, I don't know if you've ever... You've just proven you may have never even listened to the Loud Boys.
No, I listen to the Loud Boys every morning.
Then you would know that I have openly been suicidal for about 8 months. So you're fine.
Yeah, so don't
Then
worry.
why
Nobody cares
why aren't
if
you reporting him, Joe?
Because I don't care. Not Oh no! Yeah, can we strike the Mike? Cut that last fucking honest bit I said.
Well, here's the thing.
It's all showboating.
Look,
White men
Natalie,
don't
you
really
asked
want to
us-
kill themselves.
They call that parasuicidal.
What? Why?
Because that means you don't really want to do it. You're just trying to get attention.
Because it's up in the air.
That's what. Yeah, but like we
Like a
got
paratrooper.
Patreon subscribers when he was saying he wanted to kill himself. So
I
it
still
worked.
want to
Yes,
kill
yes,
myself.
yes.
Natalie, you asked.
Do you just think about that? It's an epic amount of effort not to slit your wrist every motherfucking day.
It's not. I mean, it's
So
not a
Do
lot
you
of
guys
effort.
think that?
Natalie, you asked before this show. You asked what's. You
No,
said,
I'm doing this, Dalton.
Yeah,
I asked
it's-
the best
it's-
advice you ever received. Dalton, what's the best advice you've ever received?
Never commit suicide. Never commit suicide. Never commit suicide. I keep it 55th Street. That's Crip Mac on TikTok.
Does he have a? I'm just guessing a boa constrictor.
Can we
wrapped
pull this
around his
up,
shoulder?
or-
He's got a tattoo of a 55 on the side of his face. He's got some forehead tats. He's got a lot of face tats. He's a sweet guy. He's from 55th Street. Keep it 55th. Keep it 5. That's a good advice.
Is that the advice that you prepared?
No. The best advice I ever got was from a Texas comedian that I know from back home. He's out of San Antonio. He's
Okay.
currently dying of cancer.
Oh
Wow.
no!
His name is Larry Garza.
Okay.
Check him out, folks. He'll be gone soon. His special is up for free on YouTube. Big Mama God and the Hazel-Eyed Monster.
Is he actually dying, or is he like that?
Oh no, he's like actually
that other. Remember that other
Or is he
comedian?
trying to get Patreon subscribers?
Yeah.
I think it's been a years-long battle that looks like we don't know where it's going. So,
but is it in
Okay.
remission?
It's not.
There's so many steps in medical technology.
Anyway, his advice over the years has always been don't take yourself too seriously. In fact, don't take yourself seriously at all. At least in comedy. And then as far as life advice goes, just keep reading and writing. Like, it's very simple maintenance kind of stuff. And on that note, Natalie, if you want the real advice, I brought you some gifts.
Oh, look at this. This is from both of us.
This is from both of us. Let's see. What do I have
Wait.
for you?
Let the record show this is the first gift I've ever received on the podcast. First gift.
Because, we're all men of letters here.
Yeah.
So I brought you some
GAY.
I brought you some texts. And the first one I want to show you. These are all great, but the first one, because I'm sure at some point in your life, somebody, I'm not going to say who, has forced you to read the 48 Laws of Power. I offer you the antithesis, the antidote, the yang to that yin. This is a book called The Four Agreements. Now, you'll notice there's 44 less laws in this than the
Yes.
48 Laws of Power. It's a much shorter book. This is by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's a Toltec wisdom book. We could go over the four agreements right now. I could tell you, they're right here at the front of the book.
Well, okay, so what I'm seeing here and what I'm noticing is that you brought in a stat. Are you giving me these 4 books?
Yes, these are yours.
He just got fucking homework assignments, Natalie.
By the
How
way,
does
Natalie,
that
this
feel?
is the only one I would suggest
Professor Pruitt.
This is the only one I would suggest you actually read. These
Or
other
pretend to
ones,
read.
you
I
know?
think it would be hot if you went by Professor Pruitt, and I think
Professor
you'd get laid
Pruitt.
by going by that.
Well, here, these are the 4 agreements.
Okay.
Be impeccable with your word.
That means always be honest.
Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love.
Is this
This guy has never had a fucking podcast in his life.
That's the first
What
agreement.
the fuck is
Wait,
happening
that's the
right now?
first one?
The second agreement
This is like 15 agreements because they were like
I
a
mean,
sub-agreement.
I asked for the best advice you ever received. I didn't ask you to come on my podcast and read
Do
the
a
4
book
agreements
report.
to
Listen to me.
me.
I'm just gonna go. We're gonna
I
go over.
like the book, The Four Agreements. I agree that it was
I
a
mean,
good
what, are you
book.
gonna read
No.
Vic and Blood to me after this
That's a
as well?
side-
Look at
sci-fi-
this fucking phone book he tried to
Well,
fucking
and then
pass
That
off.
book changed my life.
That's a
Right? No,
doorstop,
I mean, honestly,
Natalie.
I really appreciate this because I could enjoy.
That also changed my life. That's Man's Search for Meaning by
Dalton!
Victor Frankl. He was a
I'm so
Holocaust.
touched.
Now let me tell you something about that one. He was a Holocaust survivor.
How'd you know that I'm a Jew?
So take into consideration that what you're dealing with is an
The tattoos.
unreliable narrator. In literature, that's what we call an unreliable narrator because we don't know how many people actually died in the Holocaust. But there's a lot of value in that book. Now, I'm joking. It's 6 million.
Ooh, he is trying to get a real day job because he was like, it's not a joke.
No,
though.
it's actually somewhere around 300,000. But come on.
Oh, there he goes.
No, these are all great. Here,
Okay, no. I just want to. I'm gonna.
you go over the 4 agreements.
Yes. Where are they though?
Right there in the cover.
Just read the table of contents. Read the first sentence of every chapter.
Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. My BetterHelp therapist told me that. Don't make assumptions. I learned that in 4th grade. And always do your best. Let me tell you this thing. There's a Dane Cook bit where he says, do you know the Dane Cook bit?
Natalie?
Dane Cook is a good
Natalie,
friend of Dalton.
you tell your Dane Cook story, and then I'll tell you my Dane Cook story.
Here's the thing. There's a Dane Cook bit where he talks about getting home and crying. And then he says, like, he's like, you know, when you're just waiting to get home and be alone so you can just break down and cry hysterically. And then you're just like, I did my best. And I think about that I think about that bit every day. I don't.
Yeah. Do you think Dane Cook stole Louis C.K.'s itchy asshole bit?
I don't know the bit, but
It's
I
basically
think that
how like an asshole itches. And Dane Cook and Louis C.K. have strikingly similar.
Can I say something? And you know, I really shouldn't say this on this podcast, but
Go ahead.
it's shit talking for real.
Be impeccable with your word.
I will be impeccable with my word. I have seen 3 separate New York comedians do this same joke,
About what?
and I feel like I've seriously seen 3 comedians do the same joke. I don't know if they know they're doing the same joke.
About itchy assholes?
They're opening with it. I don't even know if I should say the joke, and it's crazy.
Say the joke,
Is
and
it
we'll try to
about
guess
itchy
which.
assholes?
Say the joke, and we'll try to guess which comedians.
I feel bad. Now
it's
I'm
fine.
like,
So
you're probably wondering what
They
race
should have
is
thought
this
about
guy?
that before they decided to try to make people laugh on stage. Natalie, hit us with that fucking bit.
I'll think about whether I'm going to say it. Joe,
Is it? What is the premise of the bit?
it is so obvious the way these people. I mean, I can't believe it. It's been years of all 3 comedians doing the same exact motherfucking joke to the point where I'm like, am I living in the Matrix?
Is it New York?
New York. All New
Wow.
York. All New York. Friends.
Well, speaking of the
Friends.
Matrix, I do want to tell you about White Noise by Don DeLillo. This, if you're interested in simulation theory, simulation theory is not that we're in a computer. You can get started on simulation theory with White Noise.
I'll be honest. I do want to replace Robbie. I like you guys a lot, and you're really making my life happier.
Well, there's a part in White Noise that talks about the world's oldest barn, which is a tourist attraction somewhere in America. That's the world's oldest barn. But because it's become a tourist attraction, everybody's taking pictures of it, and you're already aware of it before you've seen it. It's effectively a simulation. It's a copy of a copy of a copy by the time you've seen the world's oldest barn in person.
Barn. Bet oldest fucking.
There's a
slave
lot more.
house.
It also talks about COVID in a way. 1980s, this was published. The airborne toxic event is a big part of this book, where there's a plague that may or may not be real.
Dalton, it seems to me, and I'm sorry for ignoring everything you said about White Noise, but I'm still on this one. It seems to me that be impeccable with your word is your favorite of the 4 agreements. Is that true or false?
It's the one that's always running through my head when I speak to people,
And why is that?
because communication is like lost now. People don't know how to communicate with each other, so I think it's very important to understand syntax, semantics, intention, language, all of it, so that when I speak to people, they don't like misconstrue me or fail to understand. Like I'm making an effort so that people can at least understand or try to understand what I'm saying, rather than I just seem crazy.
I like that. I like making that effort. I like that you said reading, because I feel like I've completely lost the desire. Like, completely, reading is so important, especially as a comic. Like, it's not just like watching comedy that's important. Like, reading, like
Experiencing life is important.
which is reading.
Yes,
It's everything.
I just miss reading a book. I haven't even thought
It's also
about
important to have at least one foot in the past, like to read from the past and understand what the world was like, so you can transpose that and understand how it led to now, and then you can start to develop some prescience and see where things are headed. All these books will help you do that. This one right here, Vic and Blood, that's a post-apocalyptic sci-fi novel that's all about the human condition in a world where there is no civilization. Vic and Blood, A Boy and His Dog. It's also a movie about a boy who has a telepathic link
You read
with
these
his dog.
books, your life will be as good as Dalton's.
Yes.
Did you pick them with him?
Fuck no.
I thought you said they were from him as well.
Yeah,
I fucking
gave him some money and I said, Dalton.
No, he didn't buy them.
Natalie.
These are from my library.
No, these are, well then where's my fucking $40, Dalton?
These are my books.
These are his books.
I've read all of these.
Okay.
I've had these since college.
And you're giving them to me?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Are you going to actually read them?
There's no value.
And if I don't read them, I'll stare at the pages looking at the same sentence over and over again because I have ADD. I love this.
You can also just go on Wikipedia and get summarizations of them as well.
No, you'll
I'm
never.
touched.
It's a simulation of reading a book is reading the
Honestly,
Wikipedia summary.
that's what Baudrillard talks about in Simulacra and Simulation. Wikipedia is effectively...
And I didn't have to read a giant-ass fucking book to figure that out. I lived a life.
Yeah.
Joe,
Anyway,
yes.
Joe,
what's the best advice you've ever received?
I'll tell you one thing, man. One time I was like tripping out in my room and I had a vision and I was in a theater and there was an old man who I later assumed would either be like a future version of myself or maybe generations down the line. And the old man looked at me and the credits were rolling in a film. And
Wait. The old man's a figment of your imagination?
This was all in my beautiful mind.
Okay.
And he looks at me and he says, some people just want to watch a show. And then he gets up and leaves. And what I took that as was that when you die, you see your whole life play back in a movie theater. And when you're looking back on your life, the most important thing is that you've had good experiences and you formed good bonds. And that when you look back on your life, it's a beautiful movie and a show worth watching. So that's how I try to live my life. By having
a movie.
Yeah, by having good connections and forming bonds and also having experiences that I'll be able to look back on years from now.
Have you ever studied organic chemistry at all?
Oh, I'm sorry, Dalton. Was in the...
He's saying...
Oh, sorry.
He's saying
So part of also
a
communication
deep...
is like also being like listening and interacting and talking to somebody and not just talking at somebody. Something to consider too.
Okay.
Cool. So that's what I would consider as part of learning about that, the interactions.
I love being Robbie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it feels like to be Robbie,
So
is
this
moments
is-
like that.
So this is the first time that someone has given me advice from a spirit such as the old man.
I was talking to myself through time.
I love this. I think
I
that's
didn't mean to interrupt
true.
you, Joe. I'm sorry.
I love you.
right.
I love
Be
that.
impeccable with your word.
You guys, I mean, and then there's a mature communication here. You know, you said this upset me. He said, I'm sorry, I understand. Wow, I love it. Okay. I love that. I think I do, like, reflecting on your life and thinking, is this something that I want to look back on? And, well, okay, are you saying people like to watch stuff happen?
I think like
observation.
No, I think it's
or are you talking about your own, looking back at your own life?
your own life and the experiences that you have, because those are unique just to yourself too. You know, you can have like a similar opinion to people like when you read a book or watch a movie, but things you experience and the emotions that you are entrenched in, I think those stick with you. Because sometimes like you look at an old photo of yourself and it also brings back like not only just like the good memories, sometimes like even like phantom pains sometimes looking at them or how the significance of a photo you see changes over time as well. Sometimes like, oh, this is a very important milestone in my life. 5 years from now, it's like, oh, that milestone wasn't as big. It was still important, but it wasn't as life-shifting as it seemed at the time.
Yeah, you're probably familiar with the old philosophical axiom: if a tree falls in the forest, no one's around here, it doesn't make a sound. That carries over into actual science. There's a lot of theories about observation, like the nature of observing and what it does. And if you've watched Breaking Bad, then you're familiar with the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. In physics, in chemistry, anything dealing with like the microscopic world, the quantum realm, like the act of observing like an electron changes it. Like what you're looking at is actually something that's already happened. And by observing it, it's now behaving differently. And so that principle can carry over into like metaphysics and like just humanity, where it's like the act of like observing your own life and the world around you does change it.
I see that the tree did still fall, but you observing it is another action, so that changes things, like if a butterfly flaps its wings.
Yeah, think about it. Like a tree.
Butterfly flaps its wings. On the other side of the world, a baby is born with a cleft palate.
Because I think the real question, is, a tree falls in the forest, no one's around to hear it. It's not, the question isn't, does it make a sound? It's that when someone observes it, now it's transcended the material world into human thought, and that has changed the nature of what's happened. Let's say a poet stumbles into the forest and sees this tree. They didn't hear the sound, but they can write a poem about this fallen tree. And so does that exist? What is that? You know what I mean? So it's like the world around us is something we're observing and acting on. And there's a lot of theories about like how thought and all of this, it goes hand in hand, how everything's connected. Even very ethereal, something ethereal is like our own thoughts and language.
I have 3 thoughts, and I don't even know if I'm going to remember all of them by the time I'm done. I have a lot of anxiety in my life about that very concept of like the smallest decision you make influences so much else. And that's where I think a lot of my anxiety comes from. And I think a lot of other people is like, you decide to do something that influences so many other things. So decision making becomes that much harder sometimes, or it becomes that much easier to overthink things when you think the consequences can be so vastly different based on like if I decide to have water or coffee this morning.
Have you ever studied any like Hinduism or Buddhism?
I have, yes.
What is it? Mahasamatman?
Mahatma Gandhi.
No, Mahasamatman sat in his grove and all things came to him. The Buddha meditated. Siddhartha, yeah. Siddhartha, Targatha, Sugata.
The curiosity. So the second thought that I had is the curiosity that you have makes me inspired, and it makes me like you still love life.
Nah.
Yeah, you do, and I miss like it.
That's
why do you hate life?
No, like you're still interested in things.
Well, what they teach you in Buddhism really is not like this idea of enlightenment. It's patience. It's just that you sit in your grove and all things come to you. You just meditate and you wait to make a decision. Because as you sit there and you're just like kind of observing the world around you, it's still all happening. And so just with patience, you don't have to make a decision right away with anything. You can just chill. Everyone else around you is going to be doing shit, and then you'll find the time. You'll find your moment. It's very difficult. What I'm talking about is extremely difficult. It's like a matter of patience and discipline. It's a lot of work. So you're saying
don't have coffee, don't have water. Wait until
somebody comes to you
someone
and say,
brings you
no. Here's coffee.
Drink lemonade.
Enlightened one. Here's a vitamin water.
I'm saying do all the things you want to do, but carve out time in your day to sit alone for 10 minutes in silence and go, why? Okay, so why is it that I'm doing this? What drives my behavior?
Do you meditate daily?
I try to. I got a patio. I go out there. I sit down. I let the sun hit my face. I close my eyes. I breathe deep breaths.
Bird lands on his shoulder.
Yeah, I think all the deep thoughts and try to get to a place where I'm just chill. My head's clear.
What's your astrological sign?
Taurus. I don't concern myself too much with astrology because the stars are mostly dead.
I'm Libra with Aquarius rising.
And what's your moon?
Fuck, my girlfriend knows.
Now
I use that app for it.
CoStar?
Yeah, I have CoStar.
Now my last question was, how did seeing that old man, going back to that, how did that change your life moving forward? How did that inform your life? So
it was a sense of relief. I think you feel that. Like it's like you get so swept up in like the immediate like now that sometimes you lose sight of like the big picture and where you're going in the long run. And I think it's important to be present, and I do think it is important to be aware of the past, but it's also like you got to look at like it as like an entire painting, like your life.
Have you read? Sorry.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. I get too excited sometimes.
No, it's amazing.
Natalie, have you read Dune?
No.
There is honestly,
I'm not a sci-fi person.
Don't worry about it. I'll tell you. There's a part in Dune that talks about this where the Bene Gesserit says that, most people think only in terms of their own lifetime. They can only think in terms of like that 50 to 80 years that they exist. And she's like, we have, for centuries now, been thinking in terms of generations. Like, we perceive our existence in terms of the overall, like, collective humanity rather than just our own lives. Everything we do is for the betterment of our people. And so it's tough to wrap your head around, because you think about like your life on this earth, however long it is, there's only one generation behind you and one generation in front of you. There might be a great grandparent, but you're only like one generation removed from the past and the future. So you don't have like a lot of perspective really.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's important to have a grip on like all of it. Like everything all at once, to see the scope of it, and that allows you to kind of just sit there with your thoughts and meditate on it, because it's too big for you to ever understand.
It's interesting. Like, so it's comforting to, it's kind of like that thing, if it's comforting to think about how small you are, because it puts all your problems in perspective, and makes you feel grateful for things.
Yeah.
Is that
you
kind
look
of
at
what
the
you're
ocean.
saying?
It's not even that you're small. It's that like, in physics, Newton talks about, energy, matter, whatever it is, cannot be created or destroyed. So, whatever it is that makes up consciousness, humanity, all of that thought, that can't really be destroyed, because look at DNA. Like, your DNA is that. Like, you inherit these traits, you have this coding within you. So whatever it is that your consciousness is, it's finite and infinite all at once. So you're small and you're big. It's all things all at once. Yin and yang, everything and nothing.
I zoned out and got confused.
Yeah, I know.
That's me every episode of The Loud Boys. Don't even worry about it.
I feel like, what happened? What?
Do what?
What?
Like your soul. Think of it like
What about my soul?
Your soul can't be destroyed. Whatever that is, the energy that makes up your thoughts, your consciousness, is eternal yet finite.
Maybe it's only eternal from our limited finite perspective, but maybe even angels fear death. Maybe our souls can be destroyed. It's just incomprehensible to us on this
Do you
moral
believe in
coil.
reincarnation?
Hell, I wish.
You have like consciousness, you have the soul, and then you have ego.
I'm so confused.
So
okay.
the Natalie Cuomo is ego.
Now I can pay attention.
That's ego. That's like the driver, like the driver behind the wheel of the car.
Right.
And then, but then what? I don't know how to do this metaphor, but it's like ego is you.
Yeah.
And then when you die, the ego dies.
Right.
But the consciousness, the soul, the
it's
self.
Like there's a collective
Yeah.
consciousness.
That doesn't die.
Right.
So.
It doesn't?
Did you ever see the movie Coco?
I don't know.
Yes.
It's like that. Yeah.
Is it?
Eventually our grandmothers will die.
Why am I acting like you guys are telling me what happens after you die?
I know what happens. I've done DMT.
What happens?
Nothing. Are you like that's it? You just nothing. There is no great beyond. We're just worm food, and it's over. It's over. I remember being on the couch, being like, "Fuck, I'm gonna die." And
What a ridiculous statement to make. I know what happens after you die.
Well, what do you think happens?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying that if you study like physics at all in any of this shit, you do find that energy, whatever matter is, it transfers. Like if you set a log on fire. Yes,
I do see energy transfer. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Listen. Yes, I see the energy transferring, and I see how the consciousness could transfer. The ego dies. The consciousness transfers. The soul, I don't know if it's like Coco, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think any of that.
It's beyond human perception.
I don't know. I definitely don't think that we will ever know what happens when you die.
Natalie, I mean, how deep do you? I could go whole hog into this and just confuse the shit out of you even more.
I don't want to look like I'm an idiot on my own podcast. So if that's what's going to happen, we can pivot.
Because there's stuff I've been studying since I was in college that I'm just now wrapping my head around. Like, so I won't get into all that.
Well, listen.
The best way to have immortality is to have a good hour of stand-up available online.
Yes.
So, what is the most successful piece of content that you have put out?
probably my appearance on Legion of Skanks.
Ugh, yeah, it's the fucking Loud Boys. Ugh.
Oh, I mean, yeah, if you mean in terms of like overall success, it's the Loud Boys. But I mean,
one video.
Yeah, it was
not counting Legion of Skanks.
I've never had anything
not
go.
Counting Legion
I've never had anything.
Then
like something that's like you.
Nothing. People.
Twitter Spaces, the Spaces tapes. I started that.
What is it?
So, and I say success just in terms of how ridiculous this is and how it just kind of worked out. There's a thing that Twitter is trying out. It's Clubhouse, but on Twitter. It's like an audio chat.
I know what you're talking about. And Lewis joined it one time.
Lewis joined it once, and I've just been using it because I grew up listening to Art Bell. Do you know about Art Bell? Mm-hmm. Yeah, my family moved around a lot, so I was in my dad's truck with him a lot, just driving in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
And we would listen to Art Bell, which was an AM talk show about conspiracy theories and shit. And it was a cool show because he was never like rude or condescending. He just would talk to them, and it was always fun. It was like colonies on Mars, cloning humans, Bigfoots, Jersey Devils, all of it.
Okay.
And I just liked the way he was like really nice to these people and got these cool conversations out of them. So I wanted to try that with Twitter Spaces. And it's starting to pay off. Like
Twitter Spaces,
because like I just reach out to all these people all over the world. Like I've been talking to people in Australia, wherever, and they tell me all these cool stories, and I really enjoy it.
I'll tell you a cool story.
But I wanted to tell you my Dane Cook.
But this is a person through Twitter.
I wanted to tell you my Dane Cook story because of this. Because a few nights ago, I was just fucking around on Twitter, and I saw Dane Cook was hosting a space, and I said, all right, let's get in there. And I joined, and I immediately requested to speak. And I'm just pounding emojis, hoping he'll notice that I'm in there. Like, hey, I'm raising my hand. And I finally talked to him. First off, he's a psycho. He's an insane person who is
I met him once.
Absolute husk of a human being, but couldn't be a nicer guy
Hot
to
girlfriend, but yeah.
Hot girlfriend, 19 years old, robbing the cradle. Couldn't have been nicer. But also just very show busy. Like, he was very like, this is a show. It didn't feel like a conversation. But I put in a good word about Lewis and Skankfest. Hopefully y'all can get Dane Cook for the next one. But, I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, I've been fucking around with this thing and
That's awesome.
not knowing what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And by the way, in my mind, the whole time I was like, whatever you think about him, years and years ago, we saw Dane Cook do this with MySpace. And so, truly, a vicious circle.
He's a pioneer, honestly.
That I had a conversation with Dane Cook about this very thing on Twitter Spaces.
That's awesome.
Remember me, Dane? I had you in my top 8.
Yeah,
in, MySpace.
had him in my top 8.
You know me, Dane. Me, Joe from MySpace, top 8 here. I have a question. Sufi in 2021, is it still PC?
Did you guys get into fights with your friends about top 8? Because I would get into fights with my two best friends.
That's how
would
like
always
you would
get mad
break
about
up
my
with
top
a
8.
girl. I'd be like, so long, no more number 1 spot.
That was not in my world.
I
like,
I would get into.
We change like the MySpace song, like the song that would start like, it's always some loud ass fucking song. We'd change that. I remember
Mine was Jessica Simpson.
Entry level coding. That's like it really taught you how to like copy and paste to make like a personalized it was cool. Like looking back on it, damn, MySpace was pretty. We really backed the wrong horse when everyone flocked to Facebook and was like, get rid of MySpace.
I grew up in the middle of nowhere, so we just didn't have internet. Like our internet was.
How old are you?
28, but our internet was so slow that I just didn't have it. Like I wouldn't, because it would take so long to do anything on the internet that I just was like, I'm not gonna fuck with this.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
And how long have you been with your girlfriend?
I've been with her for about 4 months now.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow! The Loud Boys is really helping you out here.
Yeah, double-edged sword.
Double-ended dildo.
Now, was she a listener of the podcast?
She was.
She's a friend of all of ours. She's really sweet.
Do I know her?
Kelly Taylor.
Oh, I love Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Kelly says hi. I was supposed to say.
Kelly hosts my show all the time.
Yeah, Kelly's awesome.
I'm not.
Why didn't I know this? Hi, Kelly. You're awesome.
Because I don't know. It's on Facebook. We're Facebook official.
You're a Facebook official?
Yeah.
This is the problem with Facebook. If she's in your MySpace top 8, I would have known.
Yeah.
But since it's Facebook official, I don't know.
It gets lost in the algorithm because they're trying to sell you on war stocks or something.
I don't care. I stopped caring about dating after 2 years of COVID. I'm all in on just living the life of a Ronin, samurai with no master, Bushido. Just mattress on the floor.
Well, you're kind of doing the Buddhist thing where you're sitting and you're just, letting
waiting for
life
something
happen.
Did pussy come to the Buddha while he was waiting under the tree of enlightenment?
Yes, it did.
It did.
The Buddha was human.
All these
Many
incel
women.
guys on the internet are like, I'm just gonna stay here under my computer of.
But
Siddhartha was human.
Siddhartha was not at a computer. He was at a river.
But
was at a
what is
river.
it? Just like that was the internet of the day.
It's slowly but surely happening.
The river was not the internet of the day.
Go on
The
TikTok.
river was not the internet.
If you wanted to talk to somebody, you put a letter in a bottle and throw it in the river.
No, he didn't talk to anyone. He looked at the water.
Joe, you got to think about it this way. The more and more people retreat to their computers, to their screens, everybody's lonely. We're seeing it happen on TikTok. More and more big-tittied hot women are dressing up like fucking Naruto and talking about Kingdom Hearts. It's only a matter of time before that invades the overall consciousness of everybody. And much like in porn, how everybody just started doing anal sex because of porn, when they start seeing all the porn is Naruto and shit, these incels are going to be getting crazy pussy.
Counter argument. I don't watch porn. I have anal sex because I like pain.
Yeah, and gay people were
you're
doing
traumatized.
Gay people were doing anal sex way before porn even was like a thing.
But you know what I mean? How porn can create sort of the trends and
I think they just made it. People were more open about getting fucked in the ass.
No,
I think everyone.
I think there's people out there doing sex shit they don't even want to be doing.
No, dude. Maybe the girls you're with.
You can't fake being into crazy sexual. You can't fake that.
I guarantee you, there's people agreeing to shit that they're not sure they want to do.
No,
yes,
dude.
there are people agreeing to shit, but you can't like fake being.
I know, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of porn, people are like, they think like, oh, I got to eat ass, I got to do all this, and they're like,
and then you're like, oh, you didn't wipe well enough. It tastes like shit.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I don't actually want to do this.
Can I tell you a story? One time, someone ate my ass, and then they were like, wow, that tasted so bad. They went and lied down the hallway for 20 minutes.
Mike, you want to timestamp that one? You might want to cut that out, man. Jesus Christ. What's going on at the Gomez house?
No, it wasn't Lewis. It was like a while ago.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't Lewis. I wouldn't tell it. I mean, Lewis doesn't.
What, did the bidet break?
No, we have a bidet. It was.
There's probably a stack of them in the brew closet
we could be honest here.
This ain't the Spaces tapes. You can't just say whatever.
I thought I was Robbie.
No, I'm fucking with you. That is crazy.
Believe me, if that story happened with Robbie, we'd let him know.
By the way, that's what that guy walked away from that being like, I hate eating it. Why did I think that would be a good idea?
He's like, I can't eat ass. I can't eat ass. I can't eat ass.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. By the way, I'm just speculating that I think over time you're gonna see like all.
Can I just say before we move on? People have eaten my ass, including my current, many times. It's been awesome. They've said, wow, it's delicious. I'm going to come back for more with condiments. Like, it's great.
It's not delicious.
Do you have that on your LinkedIn profile?
They're like, it's amazing. Just maybe one time someone had a bad experience. It's not my fault that wasn't their flavor of choice.
Yeah, I've never, there's no part of sex I've ever said was delicious. It's just gross and it feels good.
Now we're going to go around and you guys are going to tell me things that are equally embarrassing. Joe, you can go first.
I don't know. Nothing. I'm an open book.
Go ahead.
About what? I don't know. I guess like sometimes like in like if I'm like not This is a good one. Fuck. I don't know. I'll answer anything if you have any questions.
Okay, you think of it while Dalton is.
Yeah. I got a similar story. I was dating a woman a few years back.
Mm-hmm. I like that you say woman instead of girl. It's very mature and people should learn from that. But continue.
I was dating a woman a few years back and we didn't have a condom and she didn't want to go without one because she was fucking other dudes. So we were just fooling around and I was like, can I put a finger in your butt? Because I saw that in porn. Mm-hmm. And she was like, sure. And I did, and then I pulled my hand out, and then I said, oh, hey, I gotta go pee now. Because what I really needed to do was, scrub my hands.
Was there poop on your finger?
Yeah, so much. But
that's not embarrassing for you.
It was because when I got back from the bathroom, she was like, oh, you're already back? What happened? And I go, we don't need to talk about it. We both know what happened. We both know why I should have made time to make you think I was peeing. I know, but no, I was just washing my hands because you didn't clean yourself.
Wow. Filthy animals.
I got shit all over my hand, and I've also shit my britches in front of a girl, so...
Okay, that's the story you tell. Tell that story.
I told it on our show, but I was hanging out with this comic one night. She had just, like, new in town, and I was horny. And she was very nice, and...
Not funny, though, but yeah.
Not
funny. I don't even know who you're talking about.
Her name was Natalie Cuomo. What's up, dude?
Nice.
No, but anyway, I was thinking about making some moves.
Yeah.
And then I went to the bathroom to pee, and as I was peeing, I went to fart and just blew some shit into my britches.
The problem with standing and peeing.
Yeah. And so I didn't know I'd shit my pants. When we were sitting outside waiting for the lift, I thought I had like a fart trapped in my pants. You know that feeling? When you fart and it's trapped in your butt cheeks?
I've never had a fart trapped.
Mike, do you know what I'm talking about when you get a fart trapped in your butt cheeks?
Yeah.
And then it crawls up your balls? Yeah. Mike knows what I'm talking about. That's what I thought it was. So I was clenching my butt cheeks trying to get this fart to like crawl out.
Uh-huh.
This is man shit. And it wasn't, I could feel it moving around, but I was like, damn, this fart is trapped in my butt cheeks.
You didn't smell it?
I didn't smell it, but then eventually I realized, oh, I have shit my pants. And but I was still horny, so they were like, "Oh, the lift is here. You coming?" And I go, "Absolutely." So I just sit in the lift with shitty pants. I was like, "I'll take care of this when we get to the next bar." I don't know if anyone can smell it. So we get to the next bar. I go to the bathroom and check the damage. It's a disaster. It's pitch. First off, it's pitch black shit because I had taken Pepto-Bismol. Do you know about this? Pepto-Bismol has bismuth in it, which turns all of your shit as black as the night. Vanta Black. Pull up Vanta Black for reference. And I'm doing my best to clean this up. Now, I don't know what situation my bowels are in, and so here's my thinking. I could discard the underwear, but let's say I shit my pants again. Now we got shit touching. There's no barrier, It's just shit on jeans. Yeah, that was my...
but you could clean your ass.
I did everything I could to clean my ass, and then, but...
you could discard the underwear, then it's fine.
But no, listen. But I cleaned my ass, cleaned the underwear, and I said, I'm going to keep these underwear in case I shit my pants again. That way I don't just shit into my jeans. I still have the underwear as like a barrier. So I put the underwear back on. I go sit down, and then as this woman is getting up to go home, I reach out my hand, which moments before it had been covered in shit. I washed it. And I said, hey, and she grabbed it, and I pulled her in, and I said, hey, are you sure you want to get out of here right now? I was like, why don't you hang out a little bit? She goes, no, I have a boyfriend. And I go, all right, I get it. Go have some fun, but think about it. and then she leaves, and I go, damn, I'm cool. And we were outside, and I was talking to her friend, and I was like, you got that girl's number? And he goes, yeah. And I go, call her. And he calls her, and he hands me the phone, and I go, hey, this is Dalton. And she goes, yeah. And I go, hey, I just want to say, I know you got a boyfriend, but we should go out sometime. And she goes, no. And I was like, all right, well, hey, just keep me in mind if you ever want to get with a real stud. And then I hung up the phone and handed it back to my friend. I said, all right, man, I got to go clean the shit out of my ass. And she never called me.
Does she still do comedy?
Epic.
Yeah, she does. She seems to be doing quite well for herself.
Will you tell me
days.
her name after the podcast?
I will, yeah. She's very nice.
I'm sure she is.
It better not be Kelly.
It's not.
God damn, I'm about to lose all respect for this bitch.
It was Kelly.
Damn.
She comes home.
Does she
she's
really
like,
have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly comes home and is like, babe, this guy was hitting on me at the bar. He smelled like shit.
Can I say one thing? I feel like, and I don't mean to be rude, I feel like you're exaggerating the amount of shit because how is it not on your pants? How would it not smell?
I have a big ass. I got butt cheeks. So a lot of the shit was just trapped in my butt cheeks. I was able to just scoop it out.
Smeared around.
But then it got all over my hand. What was in the underwear was just that Vanta Black shit that was like
skid marks.
It was big. No, it wasn't skid marks. There was shit, but a lot of the shit was just trapped in my butt cheeks.
How much poop was there? Like, if you had to say, like, a small dog's poop, a medium dog's poop, like how much?
A man's poop.
It was a man's dump.
Like a full shit. Like a
no, not
shit.
a full shit, but probably like a child's shit. Probably like a small
child shit.
like
medium,
baby James. If Baby James took a dump,
it was big dump for James.
Baby James took a shit in my pants.
Okay. That put into perspective.
Yeah.
All right. I'd say our stories are, mine wasn't that bad.
No.
So my, okay. All right. You shit your pants. Yeah.
Shit my pants, and then I got shit on my finger from the woman I was dating.
Well, everyone's gotten shit on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got. Yeah, and you said that you were dating her. That's embarrassing too.
Yeah.
They were pretty hot and heavy.
Oh, not only. I mean, I don't want to go into it because.
Why? Tell me.
Well, because it was.
Was she heavy?
No, it was because
hot?
it wasn't a few years ago. It was this year.
It was this year.
It was. I should not talk about this.
Yeah, it was after the Loud Boys started getting big, and then
I'll tell you about some of this off mic. Why this bothers me. This person.
Yes.
Can I just real quick, just for clarity, Dalton?
Yeah.
You said you were dating her, but she also made you wear a condom because she was sleeping with other people.
It was a messy. It was
Mike, how could you bring up that salient point?
I don't want to keep having to say this, but my best friend had just gotten killed. I was not in a good headspace. I was ready and willing to date anyone and marry them at that time because I was...
Dalton, your best friend didn't have to be killed for that to happen. Like, I have done shit like that without people dying. Like,
I know.
You don't even have to say
But
that.
I got swept up in it so much because I was like, I really just don't want to be alone right now.
I get it.
And I was telling myself I could love right now. And no, I couldn't. Because I was miserable.
So what happened? She was like, hey, like, I'm down to be with you, but I want to fuck whoever the fuck I want.
Yeah, she's young and she wanted to explore, and I was like, well, you've met me at the wrong time in my life because
you're a relationship guy.
No, it's not even that. It's like, yo, I'm crying myself to sleep every night.
You
like
need
what
love.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think this is gonna
You need love and you need to raw dog, dude.
Not even that.
He needs a different kind of
by the way,
love.
I've done that. That's fine. But no, I'm saying like when you deal with grief, you need space and time. You don't need to hop in any of that shit.
You don't need shitty fingers.
You don't need shitty but you need
Your friend would not have wanted you to have shitty fingers, I'll tell you that much.
You need to just be yeah,
looking down on heaven. Wash your hand, dude.
To be honest,
I would not have wanted this for you.
I got to be honest with you. That's the thing that made me the most sad is I wasn't able to call him and laugh about it. Like I wasn't able to just be like, "Yo, you ain't gonna believe what just happened." And we talk for a few hours, and then
he's definitely in heaven laughing at you. So.
Oh yeah.
If there is a heaven, I don't know, man. I did DMT, and I don't know if we go to heaven.
Thank
what
you,
happens
Joe.
after we
Thank
die.
you, Joe. That's very reassuring.
Joe,
Thank
it's
you.
your turn to tell us a humiliating instance that occurred recently.
Recently,
no,
nothing.
in the last few years.
Last few years, I don't know. I think after I fucking got my drinking under control when I moved to New York, but in San Francisco, I was just like a blackout drunk. Like
being blackout.
But especially like it's like I'm in my 20s. I don't know.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay.
Yeah.
Old.
Young.
Old man.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Well, you're younger than me.
Mm-hmm. I'm 27 soon, so don't forget my birthday.
Okay, what do you want for your birthday?
Suicide? Join the 27 Club?
Happiness comes from within.
I think about that because, I have a joke.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no. Well, I have a joke where I make fun of Joe Biden for having a rescue dog and being old. And then I say, I'm like Joe Biden because we're both going to die soon. Because I said it once as like a riff. Then I got a laugh. So then I said it every time. And then I'm like, holy shit, I've said that I'm going to die soon at least 100 times. I don't want to manifest dying soon. I got to stop saying it.
Well,
it's become it's
and
like
Joe
muscle
Biden's
memory.
about to die.
I don't want to die soon.
My boy did that shit. He always said he was going to join the 27 Club.
And he did.
He died. Our birthday is 3 days apart in May. He died on 4/20.
I mean,
whoa.
I really don't want to join the 27 Club. I do want to be famous. I do.
How famous?
But I don't want to. I'd rather not be famous and not join the 27 Club.
You don't want to. Nobody wants to join it. It's tragic. It's not. Never commit
counter-argument.
Mike, pull up C. Never commit suicide. Never commit suicide.
Counter argument. I don't think that many people would care if I joined the 27 Club.
I would care.
You'd care for like 2 seconds. My mom would care. My dad would care. And my dog. That's about it.
Yeah.
Never commit suicide. Keep it 55th Street.
So anyway, I feel like I gotta stop saying that. But what were you gonna say?
That about what my friend said. about the 27 Club.
So I don't want to die soon, and I got to stop saying that in my act.
That's the thing, when we talk about how human thought connects itself to the universe.
What if it builds up like what if it's like when you take like a little bit of poison, so you build up an immunity. So every day you wake up and say, I'm going to die. And then because you don't die, it has like less power.
There's
so you do that every day.
No,
so
there's a
well, it's a joke.
There's a difference between...
God's going to be like, no, you said so fucking...
Never commit suicide. Never commit suicide.
Is that Oscar the Grouch?
Never commit suicide. Never commit suicide.
I think I should listen to this before bed every night.
Yeah.
You need to...
This is your daily affirmation.
Natalie, here's what you do. Here's a scheme for you. You need to get a soundboard started. That's your first drop.
I had this therapist on BetterHelp, and he was like, you need to look in the mirror and say, like, I love you, and you're beautiful. And I was like, you're fired, because I will never fucking do that.
You need to have
That's like too much, because like you don't want to get like an ego or like, damn, I'm fucking...
Or just like, ew, I can't fucking do these I can't do It's too much of a jump for me. Maybe eventually I'll do
the only
affirmation
you
it's
need...
too much of a jump.
Yeah, the affirmation should be like, you're all right. And that's all you need.
I
that's
could do
all
an
you need.
affirmation
Look at
that's
them
like,
and be like, hey, you're all right.
You're
like you do this,
okay.
you hit finger guns, you do like,
okay.
hey,
Natalie,
we're gonna be all right.
The affirmations he wanted me to do were so much of a stretch. It's like, no. I hate myself in a very deep way. I can't just go in the mirror and be like, I love you. Like, no. That's too much right now.
You don't have
Natalie,
to say like you're a glowing ball of energy every morning. You can just be like, I'm a person and I'm feeling this. And
Today
we're
is going to be a day I'm going to make the bed. Okay.
Exactly.
Natalie, I got to tell you, there's only one affirmation you need. Mike, hit it.
Mike, hit it.
Fucking self. Never commit suicide. Things get rough. Don't give up. Don't take your own life. Everything gonna see all right. Gonna see all right, cuz. Never commit suicide. Never commit suicide. Things get rough.
Wow.
Don't give up. Don't take your own life.
This is a perfect way to end the episode, and Joe is getting out of it without telling us a
55th
fucking
Street.
embarrassing story.
I'm involved. No one will ever know personal information about me.
You guys want to do some plugs? Joe, where can people find
Fuck
you?
yeah. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Joe W. Gorman. There are some big things. Oh, and subscribe to my YouTube channel too at Joe W. Gorman, because I'm going to start posting more stuff, more content, maybe even a suicide video. Who knows?
Yeah, first
Dalton?
and foremost, follow me on Twitter at newdalton69420. That's
new.
Yeah, that's where I, mainly because of the Spaces tapes, hop in on that. Let's fucking get it going, dude. Tell me about your tragic history. And then other than that, the Loud Boys podcast on iTunes and YouTube, patreon.com/loudboys. We got to pump up those numbers.
Yikes, yeah.
And then we have our, when does this come out?
Tomorrow?
Oh, we can plug
So the
show
live show,
yeah,
the live
tonight.
show is at the Stand tonight at 9:00. The Loud Boys Save Christmas with Ian Fidance. And then in January, we're doing a run of shows in Texas. We're going to be at Austin at the Creek in the Cave, January 14th. We're going to be at Hyenas Fort Worth, January 15th. And then we're taking Matt Marin and Comedy Fight Club to Andy's Bar in Denton, Texas, January 16th. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, and I'm moving back to San Francisco in March 2022.
Why?
Because I've done everything I can in New York.
Is Kelly coming?
Yes. We're gonna.
She's not coming at home. I'll tell you that much.
This is like the announcement, but yeah, we're gonna start a new life in California. We got a house and everything.
Why is Mike shaking his head like it's not real?
Mike is just a hater. He hates every time I have like a little bit of joy in my life.
Are you fucking
Big
with me? Is
muscular
this
Mike
real?
has to come and bench press it into oblivion.
What is that parable? There's two guards guarding some doors. One guard only tells the truth and the other guard only lies. And one is guarding a door that leads to the castle. The other's a pit of spikes or something. And you have to deduce which one is telling the truth and which one is lying.
I have no idea, but you can find me at youtube.com/Natalie Cuomo or on Instagram at Natalie Cuomo_. You can follow my podcast at Help with Natalie. If you finish listening to this podcast, you're like, holy shit, I love Natalie. I want to listen to her talk more. I am now the new co-host of Neurotica podcast with Justin Silver. You can also check that out on all streaming platforms. Hit it, Mike. Let's listen to my new favorite song.
Crip Mac. Never commit suicide. 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 On hood. Never take your own motherfucking life. I know things get rough out here, man. Never take your own life. Your life is golden. Through the struggles, through the hard times, everything gon' see alright. Never commit suicide. Never commit suicide. Listen, Five Crip Mac. Never kill your motherfucking self. Never commit suicide. Things get rough. Don't give up. Don't take your own life. Everything gonna see alright. Gonna see alright, cuz. Never commit suicide. Never commit suicide. Things get rough. Don't give up. Don't take your own life. Everything gonna see alright. Gonna see alright, cuz. Never commit suicide. Suicide, fight a weak-minded. Been through hell, no money, late night grinding. With baby stretch, draw down a baby T, low, really grinding. In the 50s, we winning, we shining. Never commit suicide. Don't do no cluster shit. Killing yourself is weak-minded. I've been a long road from the county jail, fight to prison. That could give Crip Mac life. I'll never in my life. Suicide is fight a week. That's custer shit. Don't see a custer. Stay living. Get your money. We all go through hard times. It's never the end. Get on your grind. Listen, fight a hustler. Carte Blanc said, you are somebody. Carte Blanc said, you are somebody. Cuz listen, fight me. I'ma keep it 55th straight. Never commit suicide. Things get rough. Don't give up. Don't take your own life. Everything gonna see alright. Gonna see alright, cuz. Never commit suicide. Never commit suicide. Things get rough. Don't give up. Don't take your own life. Everything gonna see alright. Gonna see alright, cuz. Never commit suicide. Suicide the easiest way out. We don't do those. We all go through tough times. A hostile will never fold. I've been through the struggle. In the trenches, in jail, shit gets cold. Stay strong. Do your program. Time fly. Keep up. Stay up. Everything gonna see alright. I'm not weak. I'm strong. Really living a rough life. Will never end it. I'm solid with my crippin'. I do great things. Feed my community. Get back everybody. Page 5 with the anti-custer shit. I don't do no custer shit. If you end your life, you on custer shit. Never take your own life. Never take your own life. Listen, Five Crip Mac. Never take your own life. Big suicide killer. Everything gon' see alright. I'ma keep it 55th straight. Never take your own life. Don't do it, custer. Everything gon' see alright. Live, stay strong, and stand tall. On hood, stand tall. Never commit suicide. Things get rough. Don't give up. Don't take your own life. Everything gonna see alright. Gonna see alright, cuz. Never commit suicide. Never commit suicide. Things get rough. Don't give up. Don't take your own life. Everything gonna see alright. Gonna see alright, cuz. Never commit suicide. Never end your life. Never end your life. That's weak-minded. I'ma keep it 55th straight. Yep.
Thanks for listening to Help with Natalie Cuomo. Tune in next week for another episode. Find us on social media at Help with Natalie.